research, and I'm going to present part of the results of a research project we conducted together with 3 other companies. I will introduce them briefly later. And this project was motivated by the idea that we wanted to observe the influence of the industrial internet on the maintenance sector. Well, as a kind of motivation, I had here to show you a slide I grabbed from Bosch Software Innovations. They presented a picture of a really big plant in which a conveyor belt, Förderband, is asked by some control unit, how are you feeling? Good morning, how are you feeling today? And the conveyor belt says something like, well, it's not so okay, I'm developing some sort of fault. So it's going, you're using this picture of the health system. This conveyor belt already has some sensors that tell itself that it is developing some sort of fault. And surprisingly, the control unit already had some information that something could be going wrong, because it said, well, I already had the same feeling, so I will send some technician. And finally, the technician and people are now back on the way to look after the conveyor belt and do some maintenance jobs. So this is a scenario that's motivated by sensors, machine conditions that are reported to some control units that are analyzed, monitored, and corrective actions are taken as a decision on the filtered results of such data provided by the sensors and the machines themselves. Well, what I briefly want to do now is to introduce what is the background of our work. This is a project called Instandhaltung 4.0, or in English Maintenance 4.0, motivated by the idea to look at the consequences, at the influences of industrial internet on the maintenance sector, on the people working in the maintenance sector, not only on the technical idea and issues, but also on the social issues, on the educational and training issues that are related to people working in the maintenance sector. We are working here as the coordinator of the project in close cooperation with 3 companies: Messfeld, a company located in Klagenfurt, dealing with condition monitoring; Ankel and Partner, who are doing consulting services in the maintenance sector; and Bifinger Chem who are providing maintenance, industrial services, industrial maintenance services for other companies. Our project is started in February 2014 and will end this month. So we are now writing up the final reports and the roadmap we developed, because this is the goal of the project, to develop a roadmap for the maintenance of the future. And partly I present now also the results of this study. There are already 2 reports available. One is about the trends and the challenges and the requirements of future maintenance, and the other one is dealing with scenarios for future maintenance issues, where we also provide initial recommendations how you as a company could react on the requirements in the scenarios of the maintenance in the future. Well, the question is, of course I'm in an IoT talk, and there's always some technology involved, but the question is technology everything we have to look at? And here I want to quote one of our experts we interviewed during our qualitative interview phase. They came up with saying it's not a technical issue. Most of the technical issues are solved in the one or the other way. Of course, we know that there are some missing links and things like that, but most of the issues are solved. What we did not manage is to properly utilize the they are really at the corner of the problem. So all the studies and results we have point at the fact that not technical issues are the ones who have to be solved, but it's organizational, management issues, training issues, and things like that that have to be solved in the future. This slide is in German because it's a result of the Instandhaltung 4.0, where we tried to identify the degree of challenge a certain issue provides for the people we ask. The right two columns show at least a high degree or a very high degree of challenge in the field, and you see that that the establishment of work practice and work processes is turning up as the most challenging issue, followed by cooperation issues, especially intra-departmental cooperation issues in the operative phase and in the introductory phase of the use of equipment. Then the first technical issues.
Entschuldigung, ich hätte ein technisches Problem. Ich habe den Vortrag von da drüben oben und die Folie von hier. Sie müssen entweder hier in den Saal hereinreden, laut und deutlich, oder nicht hin zur Folie sprechen, bitte.
Okay, yes. Okay, you see, then the first technical issues come up here, which are connected with the interpretation, analysis, and monitoring of data. And luckily for the IoT community, there is no missing trust in the sensory systems. It's rated as the least challenge in our study, that there is a missing trust in the sensory systems, in the sensors, and data provided by the sensors. But there is a lack in monitoring, interpretation, and analysis means. Well, the question is then, what will the future of maintenance be? Is it the people working at the equipment? Is it the machine whisperers that are maintaining the equipment? Or is it the data analysts, the smart people that are using their IT systems and finding out that maintenance processes have to be started long before anything breaks down? That brings us to the connection between the IoT and maintenance strategies. Again, this slide is in German because it also comes out of our study. It says there are basically four distinguished strategies. The one is I wait until something breaks down, and then I start the repair process or the maintenance process. I do maintenance processes every unit, every 10,000 kilometers, every 100 operation hours, or things like that. But I could also attach sensors to the systems, and most machines in the industry have, of course, a lot of sensors, and report their data at least within the machine and the control units in the machines. The question then is, how are these data filtered and provided to other control systems like ERP systems, like machine execution systems, in the other areas of the business processes and the business logic. And an enhanced possibility is to not only interpret the data and see that something is going to fail, but also make based on simulations, have something like predictive maintenance. It was already used in some of the talks I heard here, but I would like to use it with care because I'm really missing the best practice cases in that area. Because if it's only very, very, very big companies that are able to afford such things that we have, then there's a challenge to change that. So that also medium-sized and small enterprises can use this technology. say this is not the end. The other thing is that there's a lot of environmental data, of contextual data that we can bring together in the analysis systems to react early to prevent any failures at the machine. So start maintenance processes long before anything breaks down. About these proprietary standards, many proprietary standards, I want to show you this, this comic actually, where there's a discussion about there are already 14 standards that can't be, that's ridiculous, so what is the solution we need? Unifying the universal standard, so we create the 15th standard, and then we have just instead of 14, we have 15 standards, and this is what currently repeatedly happens in the industrial area. I talked to one of the vendors in the area that say, well, we are currently providing 300 protocols, so if anything like the Internet of Things comes up, we know that we have to integrate a few other protocols, and maybe have the 301st protocol that we have to integrate into our solution. So they really know what they are talking about. And it's basically this kind of system integrators that you have to engage to solve such problems, because there will not be a universal standard. It's also one of the critiques in the Industry 4.0 movement in Germany currently, that the Germans are too long discussing about which could be the best standard, which could be the standard that will be used by everyone. The United States and China seem to be more pragmatic and just start to work and then adapt what could be there. So they sacrifice the quality of the interoperational standards to the speed of the movement. Well, there are some standards to observe. I don't want to go into these standards in detail because OPC, OLE, process control, is available for quite a while in the new extended advanced standard, which is called OPC Universal Architecture. I think that the slides will be presented and you are able to follow the links I provided in the slides. Well, there's also something like the Internet of Things architecture, because if you look at the current production systems, they are everything except Internet available. So there is a kind of intrusion of Internet technologies with the Internet of Things, with sensor technologies, with new approaches in the protocol area that will intrude into the industry 4. In the production environment. And therefore, approaches that come from the Internet area should be observed in this area. I can't give you a recipe currently, but to observe such architectures when you try to include Internet of Things approaches in your production environments would not be the worst case. I also briefly want to mention that semantic technologies could provide a solution to self-describing concepts. As one of the examples I want to present, the semantic sensor network ontology, which provides a way to describe sensors and their resulting measures in such a way that they are self-explaining. And now I want to come up with some examples where I found already approaches that Internet of Things concepts are used within industrial environments. There's one company which is also responsible for the IOTGLOBAL, and there's a booth downstairs, Line Matrix, which is providing a kind of data logger based on GSM and wireless technology that transmits sensor data to a cloud space. And in this cloud space, they provide a lot of services, APIs, analytics that is able to analyze such data. Well, I skip the video presentation for time's sake. Then we have a big example. There's a Chinese provider of wind turbines called Envision Energy, and they work together with a German company called Pastream, which is providing real-time analytics for very large amounts of data. So they were selected by Envision because they are one of the few companies that are able to handle 100 terabytes in real time and performing analytics. So maybe you keep Pastream in mind, you really have big data approaches. Another famous example that I won't go into is the example of Hagleitner, an Austrian company who attached sensors into their hygienic products or in the soap spenders and in the towel spenders, and are able now to record if they need to be refilled, if they have to send maintenance personnel to the locations where they attach their sensorized system. I will skip this video presentation. Then there's another video provided by SAP about predictive maintenance. They also have some, I think, quite impressive videos provided how predictive maintenance could work. But frankly, if I ask for best practice, it's always difficult to obtain. It's even more difficult to obtain for small and medium-sized enterprises because not everybody can afford thousands of consulting hours by SAP. Another example is about the maintenance of elevators and lifts. There's a solution based on Microsoft cloud products together with ThyssenKrupp, who are providing the elevators and the lifts for very high buildings. You also will get in the presentation the link to this video. I won't present it here for time saving. So let me come to the conclusions. Is there a way out of the jungle of standards is the first question. Well, there is. Just adopt what is there. Don't wait for the ideal standard. Don't wait for the universal standards. It will always be too late to adopt it for your requirements and solutions. Think about maintenance by design as a concept. And I mean that is influencing the product life cycle, the asset life cycle. Concepts like total productive maintenance, concepts like total asset management have to be considered. Think as early as possible about including maintenance requirements in your products. Train and educate your people. Try to integrate sensors in small steps. Don't wait for the overall solution. This is also one of the conclusions we draw from questioning our experts. The overall solution will not be available, and it will also be very difficult to measure what is the outcome of such overall solutions. Start with small steps, cooperate with system integrators that are able to support you to bridge production environments with IT systems. Well, and somehow you have to engage data analysis to get some insight that makes your data actionable. Don't just have to collect data, you have to create insight, you have to draw your decisions, and this will be one of the main outcomes that we have to develop. So thank you for your attention. This is the end of my presentation.
There's one. I have my mark. Okay. protected by data?
Yes.
And how do you solve that problem?
Well,
I think I don't even think of it.
they do, of course. The question is, who is controlling the data? Is it the producers of the machines, the equipment? They collect the data initially. Which share of the data do they want to give away to the business logic? Which share of data do they want to give away to the maintenance departments? And there we identify a triangle where we have on the one hand the equipment engineers and equipment producers, on the other hand the operational plant, and on the third edge we have the maintenance departments that need somehow part of the data, but not everything. And now the question regarding Austrian data protection law is how can you avoid, how can you minimize the data you give away to avoid that there is information, that information can be deducted that was intentionally not be given away. So take two sources of data, combine them, and then you get results that they didn't want to give away because it's somehow your production secret. And this is that's an yes. And of course it may be an obstacle that all technology cannot overcome, because analysis methods will get cleverer and cleverer, and at one point you have given away data and you can draw your conclusion that you can avoid that these conclusions are wrong.
But is someone thinking about that one?
Yes. Yeah. This is one of the research questions. I think also some research institutes are following currently, including such research people we also have running projects in the area.
Because you have one statement, who owns the data?
Yes.
This is one of the things where I hear, and you're this that I hear all this really nonsense. From the critical side, this is nonsense. Because they think, manufacturer thinks that the data they collect is their own data. Their own data is completely wrong.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the problem is that only the data is somehow connected with controlling, and therefore it's difficult to give away the data in proportion. Sorry,
what's the best business case you encountered within the research?
Although it's kind of a service-related use case, I like the high-level use case most, because they also changed the business model. They are not accounting in the future for refilling a certain soap spender. They are accounting per toilet use. They simply attach a counter at the door, and they count how many people are coming in. Hopefully the same amount is going out. But then they account with, let's say, 30 cents per toilet use, and don't care if it is 200 milliliters of soap this week and 400 milliliters of soap the other week.
But this business model is used by Rolls-Royce, because they are renting out their jet engines by the hour, and
Yes.
The client is not only the engine anyway. So either of things would need to change business models, but how hard is it for established companies to change their core business model?
Yes. I don't know how the idea was created. For example, at Hagen, there are definitely some other models like the wind turbines that have extremely high maintenance effort, because you have to go to a ship and travel out to the wind turbine that's somewhere out in the ocean. So in this case, somehow there must be a return of investment calculation that says, well, if we are able to avoid a breakdown, then it makes sense to send this ship to the turbine before anything happens there.
But if you sell machines, it's in the interest of the manufacturer of the machine that the machine breaks down.
Well,
But in the case
case that the same company is providing also the service for the refill, for example.
Yeah.
They're making the money off the refilling.
Well, it's like you go to the car.
But the car
They
manufacturers,
tell you, you need to fix this thing and you don't know if this thing or not. We will charge you for changing the light bulb anyway.
well, that's a different story.
Well, that's the same business case.
Then the question is the breakdown times are very expensive in manufacturing environment. So if you can avoid them, but this also changes the mindset. For example, people who are looking at the maintenance sector, this also changes the mindset. So they usually were celebrated as the rescuers if they repaired a machine or equipment that was broken down. In future, maybe there will not be any breakdown anymore because they take everything in front and do their maintenance work when it is good according to the schedule of the production plant, and they will not be celebrated anymore. They just avoid that anything breaks down. They are doing the same work, but at the right point of time, there are no breakdown costs come up.
And the engine for airplane is a good example. The same company is producing the engine, is making the maintenance, or is responsible for the maintenance. When the car is breaking down, well, you stop over at the side of the road, get out, call the FTC, but you will not call the VW shop or the VW manufacturer in Germany, where the Rolls-Royce engine, if something was wrong, 150 people get killed because of an engine or because of a product, then they call Rolls-Royce and say, you have to pay.
We don't have yet such a business case.
Honestly, it's not simple stuff, especially in the airplane industry.
Okay, I'm really sorry I have to stay in the discussion, but I would like to